It is 6:50 on Thursday, January 9th, and I got no huge updates today about anything that I've been doing, nothing I really particularly want to talk about. Some things I could talk about, but I don't want to kind of force myself to talk about things that I don't want to really talk about at the current moment, because that's kind of why I made this series, or started this series, is that I want to talk about things that I just want to talk about. And right now, I'm just going to give like a general day update, I guess. I went to the gym today, hit legs. They are currently now a little bit of a little jelly. So I talked about working out yesterday and how I really want to get into a routine. And motivating for legs is tough. But I did it, got through. Hopefully I'm not too sore tomorrow, because I haven't worked out, as I said, last time in a while. And so usually the day I get back, I don't take it easy and I just go right back at it and I get really sore. But other than that, the January term course I'm taking on GSI, we're using ArcGSI Pro, which is expensive as heck. Like, I was like, I assume programs, like I think of programs as, like, I understand they're expensive. Like, the Adobe products are like $60 a month. Like, Illustrator, like Premiere are $20 a month. So, like, I understand that some things are expensive, and I'm like, okay, ArcGIS is probably going to be a couple $100. Like, FL Studio, that's like, it was like $114. Like, was it DaVinci Resolve? I use the free version because I don't want to pay $20 a month for Premiere Pro, even though I started using that because I got it free with my boarding school. We got all the Adobe products, which was awesome. But like DaVinci Resolve, like the package for the premium thing is $300. And so that's my idea of expensive. I get into there and we're using, it's all installed on the computers in the computer lab that I'm using. And I get there and they're like, ArcGIS, if you want to get into some like software stuff, some like ecological science, like geology, so a lot of environmental study majors are in that class, because a lot of requirements are with using GIS. And I think it's just fun. It's a cool program. I love maps. And seeing that when I did Science Olympiad, which is, if people don't know, is like a little competition in high school where you compete with like but different science topics that are not normally taught in school. You go to competitions, you take tests. Like we went to states every single year. There was a bunch of fun things that we did. And my events, or the event that I really enjoyed, I did a bunch of like ones. I did infectious disease one. I did meteorology for a while, this plane thing where I had to build a plane. But the one that I loved the most was this thing called geological mapping. So I loved looking at maps, figuring out what happens from them, knowing a bunch of Earth things. Like, and that's where I figured out, because I have a favorite word. I don't know, a bunch of people probably would say that they don't have a favorite word, but my favorite word is batholith, because it is so funny to say to me, because it sounds like you have a lisp, but it is entirely what it is. It's a batholith. I think it's a form of, I forget, I lost my I had like in like high school, a 23 page page of notes was a lot, and it was in there. I lost it, but I think a batholith is a form of igneous intrusion that's, actually I can just look it up. I have a computer right here. Like, what am I doing? But yeah, I don't know, it's my favorite word, batholith. It's a large mass of igneous rock that forms when magma cools deep within the Earth's crust. So technically, I think it's a form of igneous intrusion, but it's just very, very large. But I don't know, I digress. I like geological mapping because I did that in high school a lot. And so this is really cool. I get to manipulate maps to find data, use data sets to then map and do a bunch of things, and it's really cool. But it's like $3,000 or $2,000 to just get the program itself. Like, I understand that this is a unique program, and they built it essentially from scratch, I think in the late 90s? Maybe even earlier. Probably earlier. And it's very important in environmental studies and geology, map making in general. If you look at any map that has some sort of data presented on it uses GIS, because you can do a lot of things with it. And it's awesome. It's really cool. Enjoying it so far. But goddamn, is it expensive. Like, I was not expecting that. And so that kind of just shook me a little bit to the core, where I'm like, I'm using a $2,000 piece of program for 3 weeks, and I'm never going to use it again. So that's just kind of crazy. Another thing that I did today is sent out a bunch of emails, which is always a little nervous for me, because I'm always afraid that I write something wrong and I don't catch it, or I'm being too forward. That's the thing that I'm always nervous about, is that I'm either being way too formal or way too forward in an email. And I'm emailing with my academic advisor and an overseer of a broad program that I'm trying to apply to. And I'm trying to be as polite as I can be, but I'm like, should I be this polite or should I be here? And it's a little nervous. And it's also kind of nervous just taking steps into applying to this program that I've known that I wanted to apply to since I got to college last year. So it was a little spooky. I have to genuinely motivate to do those things. And I did. I sent out the emails, feeling good. Now I just have to wait for a response. But yeah, I don't have much today. I think tomorrow I will think of something to more just hone in and talk about. There are a couple of things that I really do want to talk about. I want to talk about food. I want to talk about music. I want to talk about video games in general for a bit. And those will have to be in a day that has a little bit more mind power, because I'm trying to focus really hard at not napping throughout the day, and it's a little difficult. I'm gonna be completely honest. It's very difficult to for me, because one of the biggest things that I kind of pride myself in, it's kind of personal pride, is that I don't drink coffee. And that may sound weird, and why do I pride the fact that I don't drink coffee? But I don't. I mostly worry about getting to a point where I'm accidentally changing the way I function as a core person myself for a lot of things. That's why even though even though I'm going to be 21 soon, I'm probably not going to be drinking. I don't really enjoy that or any other illicit activities, because I don't like altering the base me, because I'm already worried enough about the base me by myself that I don't want something to artificially change it. And coffee's a big one, mostly because it irritates your bladder and makes you pee more, and that just kind of sucks. It was my mom drinking coffee for so long. We'll be going on a 2-hour trip, and she a 2-hour trip, you don't stop. You go at the beginning, you get there, do some stuff, then go. And she has to give a stop, and it's a little annoying sometimes. And that it's pretty much it's just her, because she's drank so much coffee. And it's also the whole saying is don't talk to me until I've drinking my coffee. It's that's kind of a lame thing. If you're tired, you're tired. And what the problem is that when you start drinking coffee, your body starts getting used to drinking coffee. So then you have to keep getting more and more caffeine in your system to feel awake. And I don't want to do that. And it's not that I'm actively searching at the drinks that I drink and oh, that has caffeine, can't drink it. It's I'll drink a soda here and there, and I'll have ginger ale, which definitely has caffeine in it. So it's just the fact that I don't drink caffeine for the sole purpose of drinking caffeine. And yeah, I just don't particularly want to. But that comes with the price of I am exceptionally tired all the time. And it's also just a fact of being who I am, is that I sleep an exorbitant amount. At boarding school on the weekend, actually we only have Sunday off, But I would have to have my friend who lived in the room next to me be my alarm clock, because if I have no purpose to wake up to something, then I will sleep until I am too hungry to keep sleeping. And so, like, I will fall asleep at 12 and get out of bed at 2. Like, I would get like a 14 hours of sleep. That's just how I function as a person. So when I don't get my beauty sleep, as my friends would refer to it as, I am kind of shut down in the middle of the day, and if I take a nap, then it means I won't sleep, and it just ruins my cycle. So I've been trying to force myself to stay out of my room until nighttime, and just stay awake. And so far it's working. But I'm hitting now, and I'm very tired, and I know if I get over this hump, then I'll be good until like 11. See, that's pretty much what I did today. It's kind of weird just talking about my day, because I kind of intended this series to talk about things. And in my mind, I guess I was kind of looking at it as to talking about things that just happened to pop into my mind. And I always assumed that those would be topics. And it feels weird just kind of talking about my day. And I guess I kind of talked about GIS and the lack of caffeine in my system, or the absence of caffeine in my life. So there is a little something, I guess. I'm gonna keep saying this. This is weird for me, talking about my life and speaking it into the void, and maybe having people watch it and be like, "That's weird," or like, "Why is he doing that?" So it's good practice. But yeah, fun day today. Tomorrow will be the start of the weekend, with it being Friday. And we'll see what happens. I'm hoping that I am less tired tomorrow.